The year is 2021. Global pandemic is taking. I'm not going to bother with this intro. I mean, it was going to be a topical intro and stuff, but I just thought, no, A, I'll just fuck up my voice. B, this just doesn't sound cool. And 3, Carl Urban would not be impressed. But yes, of course, this is still, episode 22?
Flying through these now.
Talking about Dredd, of course. Accidentally.
Yeah.
Well, would you like to talk about how this all began?
Well, I mean, it began by me being bored.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I really want to watch Dredd, and then I put it off for like weeks. Then Alex sent me a message saying that he watched Dredd, and then I went, oh, you know what, fuck it, I'll just end up watching it. Watched it the next day. We met up, we were talking, and then we just decided to do an episode on Dredd.
Yeah, it's because we were just talking about so much, and then we're like, oh no, we just have to do an episode on this. Because this was meant to be the Ascent episode.
Yeah.
And then we're like, well, no, because all we were doing was talking about Dredd. We were like, well, can we just record this?
Yeah. I mean, because we were like just so excited to talk about it. So we just thought.
Because like we were originally gonna delay this until next year, because then it would be like a 10th anniversary for Dredd.
Yeah.
And then I decided to watch Judge Dredd. To which you then also watched Judge Dredd half an hour ago.
I finished it half an hour ago and it still hasn't left my mind.
Well, it's good to fresh in your mind because I've tried to block out some stuff.
I'm still trying at the moment.
Well, I think the thing is we're going to start with Judge Dredd, of course.
Yeah.
And then move on to Dredd afterwards.
I think before we do start, I think we need to mention the real reason why we decided to do the podcast.
What?
On Dredd this week.
Oh yes, of course, Call of Duty.
Exactly.
It was very weird.
That was scary.
It was
that
weird.
Was actually
because we had just I think I had just watched the first Dredd. You'd also watched Dredd.
And then a couple of days later.
Yeah, because Call of Duty, Cold Wars season 5, halfway through the season, Reloaded bullshit thing. I don't know the name of it. They announced like a ton of new skins coming out. One was like Hudson from Black Ops. But then, of course, Judge Dredd, which makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why. I'm kind of okay with it, though, but I just don't know why.
It's very weird. Because I was...
As a skin, by the way, as a skin. Sorry, I had to just add that.
I was checking earlier, didn't the Stallone Dredd come out in like 1995 or something?
I think it was 94. No, it must be 95. Yeah, it was 95. It was 2 years after Demolition Man, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But it's a bit weird...
Yeah, I don't know why. It's in Cold War.
The comic book character's been around since the 70s, I suppose.
Yeah. Early 70s, mid 70s. Well, the weird thing is because I was just doing some research and stuff because I want to, learn more about Dredd. Because all I know, I've never read a Dredd comic or anything like.
Oh, neither have I.
2000 AD comics, as they're called. But if anything, these films wanted me to watch them more, or not watch them, or go read them more. But I was just doing some research because then I was just after watching, or after learning when Dredd came out, or the comic 2000 AD, I was like, it's very reminiscent of. And it was more so with the film, the 2012 film Dredd. It was very reminiscent of Mad Max, like the original Mad Max film.
Yeah.
Not really the sequel, but the original Mad Max film, which is partly post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
The sequels kind of went into a lot more, but, Andy is this cop, like, and he's very, like, it was mainly like the opening chase sequence of Dredd.
Yeah. I
sort of reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Because, like, it reminded me of the opening scene of Mad Max. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
And then I was just like, oh, yeah, okay. And then I was just doing research, and I was like, well, maybe I wanted to know whether Dredd was based on Mad Max or was vice versa or whatever. But Mad Max obviously came out a couple of years after the comic debuted. And obviously, it's an Australian film. And obviously, 2000 AD is a British comic. So there must have been some inspiration drawn from Judge Dredd for Mad Max.
Who knows? It could turn out that Mad Max is set in the Dredd universe. You never know. It's It's all
What, in the
connected somewhere.
wasteland, or what's it
Yeah.
called? The Walk of Death, or whatever they call it in the film.
Yeah. Into
The
what is
long
it? It's
walk.
like the
That's it.
cursed.
It's the long walk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Into the
yeah,
cursed earth.
yeah. 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 No, I think. Well, I imagine you could just retcon it, being like, yeah. Max was just because Max was just a judge that went into the wasteland essentially. um, but yeah, no, I think having watched Judge Dredd after, I don't know. How do you feel about this film? 95, Judge Dredd 95, Stallone, we'll
Oh,
call it.
it was god awful.
It was bad, but do you know what really
I
annoys me?
hated it.
There was so much potential there.
Yeah.
It really annoyed me.
I'll put it this way: I like the film in most. I like the movie from a lot of the time, except for whenever Stallone or Dan Schneider was on
Oh
screen.
my god! Yeah, I know.
Though that was everything else I was kind of enjoying
Yeah.
until it was them two.
Well, if you think, but remember, like the opening, like 10 minutes or something. There's like the opening sequence of the film, and you're like, oh my god! And you know, it's like even like there is a lot of CGI in this film, but for 95, it's all right.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I
there's
give
a-
it kind of a pass. There's some good stuff
Yeah.
going on there, but
there's a
like
lot of
there
good
is this
practical
kind of
stuff
like,
as well.
huh?
There's a lot of good practical stuff as well.
Oh yeah, I think there's a good blend of, practical mixed with CG. Not obviously something you get today, but like early
No.
stages of it.
Yeah.
But just that opening sequence, and it's Rob Schneider. Did you see Dan Schneider earlier?
Is it Rob Schneider?
It's Dan Schneider's. Yeah, we don't talk about Dan Schneider.
I always get the two mixed up.
Well, Rob Schneider, and then his character is just looking around. But weirdly enough, this was before Rob Schneider was a big thing.
Oh, was it?
Oh, this was early days Rob Schneider, like.
Oh, this was before the Adam Sandler movies.
Well, this before Deuce Bigelow. This is
Was it?
before the golden age of Rob Schneider.
I don't think you should call it a golden age.
Well, it got a sequel.
Oh God.
Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo, and then it was Deuce Bigelow, European gigolo. We'll move on. But
Yeah, that entire
because
opening
even the
scene-
score, because Alan Silvestri did the score for for Judge Dredd,
Yeah.
and obviously some other works he did. He did the Avengers film. He did Infinity War Endgame. More synonymous with them now, but it does have this epic sort of a score.
Yeah.
And it does feel like this film had such great potential, and
Oh, yeah.
there's only one man to blame. Stallone.
Mm-hmm.
Because...
See,
Well, go on, no, what are you going to say?
I was just going to say it had all the aspects there that it had, like where it had the potential was, like just the world building and all that there stuff. But then every time Stallone was there, it was just like a generic Stallone movie.
But the weird thing is, it was really well cast as well. Like, I'm fine with the characters playing the roles. My problem is the fact that how the characters are written.
Yeah.
But, well, there is a mild controversy with the film. The director of the film, who's gone on to direct better things, namely Gotham, even though I'm not a big fan of Gotham, but, he, basically what happened was he wanted us to be like, oh, right, it was originally meant to be PG-13, right? So they filmed it like that. But then when they were editing it, was like, well, this is far too gory for PG-13. Because it is an R-rated film.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like,
I don't think.
no, because there's so much blood for a
Yeah,
start.
there's no way.
No.
There's a scene where a guy gets his arms ripped off.
Yeah, I know.
There's no
that was
way.
yeah, but they always cut away before.
Did you see like a massive
I know.
pool of blood?
It's so weird. I don't know what they were thinking, but basically it was shot. They filmed it anyways, and the director wasn't taken back when Stallone wanted reshoots, because Stallone wanted it to be more of a comedy, an action comedy, than like this gritty satire. You know what I mean?
That's the one part of the movie that I absolutely despise.
Because it's not funny.
No,
At all.
It's like, especially whenever he tries to do comedy in his one-liners.
But the weird thing is, Stallone's not funny at all. I think there is one joke in the film, and I think it's by the villain. who is
Oh,
amazing
God.
in this film. But we'll get on.
He's so good.
Oh, we'll get onto that later. Steals the show. I mean, like I said, this it's just such a perfectly cast. But like you've Diane Lane in there, which I thought was very jarring. So I was after watching Justice League again. I was like, that's Clark Kent's man, you know. You have Stallone, obviously. Rob Schneider I'm fine with because obviously you had to have that comedic, character in there. Obviously, to sort of no. But if no one else was making jokes that were shit, you'd be okay with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it would work in that kind of a way. It's just the fact that the reshoots kind of fucked this film. Who else? The late great Max von Sydow, sorry.
Very good.
As what do you call him again? The main.
Oh, Christ.
The main judge guy, we call him. Leader judge, we'll call him. Leader judge, he plays leader judge. Basically, the main guy in charge of he's on the council anyway. So that's all we kind of know. He's great as well. He's good, great actor, obviously. Ton of buzzers as well, obviously.
The guy that plays Rico.
Well, we'll get onto that later. But I think we just need a whole 10-minute segment on him alone. But like, the budget was 90 million.
Really?
And yeah, 90 million. But you can see that.
Oh, well, you can definitely tell that they use like one street for most of it.
Well, like even the CG must have cost a fortune then.
Oh, especially near the end.
Yeah. When they're on the yeah. You could tell there was well, I think the main thing is you can tell there's a lot of Blade Runner inspiration in this.
Oh yeah.
You know, oddly enough, I think Ridley Scott was gonna do a Judge Dredd film.
Really?
Yeah, with Harrison Ford at one point. Or no, I'm mixing that up. That would have been amazing. I'm mixing up. The director, after seeing Blade Runner, made a fake poster of Judge Dredd when he was a kid after seeing Blade Runner. And he basically wrote up, he was like, yeah, Harrison Ford starring as Judge Dredd, Ridley Scott directing. That's what his dream of it would have been. Which I think would have been amazing.
That sounds like, too good to be true.
But just imagine Harrison Ford's voice as well. Yeah, he's just perfectly cast for it.
Oh, he could have done such a good Riley voice.
It would have been great. Just like growling. But no, I think Judge Dredd as a whole, you can see the money in it. And you can see they wanted this to be a big thing. And it has so much potential, but it just falls flat. Well, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, especially in terms of the characters and the plot.
It's mainly the writing, but I think a lot of that's to do with the reshoots rather than because there's a lot. I imagine a lot of the film was reshot because like even the outfits, they really did get, and it's very weird that they did a comic accurate.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was so surprised.
It's quite comic accurate, like. Because it is the outfit.
It's funnily comically accurate.
But it works because it's meant to be that satire.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it doesn't work in this film because this film isn't a satire.
Yeah.
This film's trying to be like, oh no, this is cool. It's like, well, no, yeah, it's cool, but there's meant to be some form of comedic aspect to it. Like
the thing with the costume is, I think it's meant to look so ridiculous.
It's so fuck off, like yeah, 100%.
And in this here, it works really well. Like the outfit itself in this actually looks really good, but it doesn't fit the tone. Could you imagine in like Dredd 2012 was it?
Yeah.
2012. Yeah. Could you imagine him walking around with that suit and that type of?
No, because it doesn't work for that film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And it doesn't work for this one as well.
Well, weirdly enough, I think overall, the perfect Judge Dredd film lies in mixing aspects of these two films together.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get you.
More so, I think the fact that Dredd takes itself too seriously. That's my only fault really with that. But Judge Dredd doesn't know what it's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I want to get into Dredd, Dredd 2012 after, but after talking about this, but like You know what I mean? In terms of that, like
Yeah.
they're two. It's so weird that they're two completely different things.
Like one's like a somewhat comedy,
Yeah, but they're both based upon
and then
comics
yeah, it's
of
both like the
the
same.
same
Yeah, it's
comics,
the same
like
character.
yeah,
Like,
but
but
just
it's
done
just
completely differently.
yeah. I
I think
see.
the comparisons would be made to like Hellboy, for example, but I haven't seen the new Hellboy, so I refuse
Oh,
to.
I haven't either.
Yeah, I refuse to watch it. But I think that's kind
Yeah.
of like another series that has like a comparison like that in any way.
Hmm.
Um,
I mean, if it's not Ron Perlman, then I'm not watching it.
yeah, I understand. Not that he'll be doing it. No. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Not that he'll be doing it now, anyways. Um,
But no, like, I just, it, I was so like, I wasn't excited going into Judge Dredd, but I was kind
No.
of, I was hopefully optimistic, and
well, I actually
my-
enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Even though I don't think it's that good. Like, I don't think... I'm not saying it's a good film in any way. I thought so lowly of it.
Yeah.
Going in that I thought it was going to be really bad. But there is some redeeming qualities to the film.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
you can watch it. You can actually watch the whole film and get enjoyment out of it at least. You know what I mean? It's not like a painful
yeah.
film.
Oh, I know that. For
There
me,
is some bad
whenever-
stuff. There is some
for me,
bad...
whenever-
Yeah.
For me, whenever Stallone and Rob Schneider were there, I actually see when you don't know my process of watching this movie was.
Yeah.
I watched, the intro at the start of it and all that there, so I was like, oh, this is surprisingly good and all.
Mm-hmm.
And then Stallone came on screen.
Yeah, and they have the
And-
camera
yeah,
pull up to his, you know,
yeah.
it's from the boots, the massive fuck
Yeah.
off boots, by the way, all the way up
massive
to the
fucking
top.
heels.
Yeah,
And then he started talking, right? He started talking, and I just went out for a smoke.
yeah.
And then I came
I
back.
completely agree. I think I paused the film because that's
Yeah.
when the film started to fall apart. Because
Yeah.
it does have this amazing open, but the worst thing is the opening is still going on at this point. So it's not even a good opening, really. But up
Yeah.
until that point, it's very good. You know.
Yeah. But then I came back and I think he said a few lines and then I didn't want to watch
I
it
knew
then.
you'd say that.
Ah.
Why is that his catchphrase in this film?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
I am the law. He
Oh,
doesn't do it well. He doesn't
but
do
he-
the I am the law well.
But he says it. There are a few points where he says it randomly in situations that don't fit it.
No. No,
It's
where
very
where
weird.
he's being arrested and he just says, I am the law. It's like, sorry, that's what? What do you mean? Yeah, he burst because when the first time he said he like bursts in, he just says, "I am the law," and he just fucking obliterates the guy.
I know. Like he doesn't even like the first room he goes into, whenever he drops down
Yeah.
the roof. He doesn't even go like, all right, surrender. He just immediately guns down 3 people, and then he goes into the next room,
Yeah.
and then asks people to surrender.
Well, I think this film and even Dredd don't work because
Yeah.
of one thing. There's a better Judge Dredd film out there. And it's called RoboCop. Now, because if you really think about it,
Yeah.
because RoboCop is a
Yeah.
complete sat. It's literally Judge
Oh,
Dredd
yeah.
in film form.
It does the satire aspect.
Like if
of,
you got RoboCop, went in CGI'd
Mm-hmm.
him into Judge Dredd, no, because like the
oh,
mouth,
it would fit
the mouth.
perfectly.
The only thing that's
Yeah.
visible is the mouth. Like it's literally Judge. It's
Right,
literally.
what came out first?
Obviously the comics came out, and then RoboCop came out in like '88, I think, or. But you know what I mean? Because the last RoboCop film, RoboCop 3, which I haven't watched because it's shit.
Is that the new one that came out?
No, that's the remake, which is weird, which I don't really have an
Yeah.
opinion on. Like, I don't think it's
Yeah.
bad, but I don't think it's good.
I'm kind of the same. I watched it once and was like, eh.
You know,
I never
what
watched
you've
it
done.
again.
You know what you've done there, David.
What?
You know what you've done there.
What?
We have the RoboCop episode.
God, got that. I've only seen the first one.
I think, weirdly, I
And
know
the
this is a big
remake.
tangent we're having in the middle of the Judge Dredd
To
conversation.
be fair,
but-
this is how we get our ideas for new podcasts.
yeah, I know it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
watch first one. Really enjoyed it. I think it's a very basic film. Like it doesn't bring up a lot of ideas. Like it's a very nice standard hour and a half long film or whatever.
Yeah.
Second one, a lot of people hate it. I think it's amazing. I think
Is
it's
that the one where they? Is that the one where they have like all the prototypes for? They keep trying to make new RoboCops. Is it?
yeah.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
seen
No, it's
clips of it.
great. It's so good because it just
It looks
builds
so
upon the
funny.
first film.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weird thing is about the RoboCop remake was the fact that it's just the first two films in one film, but it just
Oh,
doesn't
really?
work in any way.
It's not even satire though. At the same time,
Oh,
it's
no.
kind of like the Dredd remake. It's just completely serious.
Oh yeah, because that was the whole point of RoboCop. It's a satire, like especially
Yeah.
the second film's great. And do you know why I think the second film's great?
Why?
Directed by Irvin Kershner,
Mhm.
director of Empire Strikes Back.
Oh.
Written by the main man himself, Frank Miller.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
that's why it's so good.
that.
It's such a good. We need to do that. We're definitely doing that.
It's a shout.
Yeah, because it'll give me a reason to watch RoboCop 3 for some
It'll give me a
reason.
reason to watch them again. Like,
I don't want to watch RoboCop 3. I just started the first. It was the opening scene. I was like, this isn't RoboCop. Turn it off. Because I think I was watching all three, because they were all three of them were like on Netflix at the same time. So I was like watching them. I was like,
yeah.
this is shit. Get out of here. But anyways, back to Judge Dredd.
oh yeah, back on
Um,
topic here, but yeah.
well, I think the film has too many ideas. It's trying to do too many.
Yeah.
You can tell they just got a bunch of comics and are like, right, let's just do all these in one film.
Yeah.
Because it's an adaptation of a lot of big storylines in the comics, but in one film.
You can tell, especially whenever they go outside the walls and get caught by the cannibals. They're like,
Yeah,
"What?
because
Sorry,
that's a big
what?"
thing. That's a very big deal, and they
Yeah,
should have
and
just.
then like 5 minutes later, it's over.
Yeah, like imagine that was like the third
That could have been
film.
a yeah, that could be a sequel.
Well, again, I think this film doesn't work because, and why Dredd works, is because he's already this established.
Yeah,
Judge.
he's already like this big famous
Yeah, and it
person.
doesn't. I can't you can't relate to him.
No.
What character can you relate to in this film as the main protagonist?
Rob Schneider?
Maybe because not
Yeah.
really. I mean, you would
Well-
think that, but he's just not in it enough to be the main character
no,
because
but the only
he's just a comedic sidekick.
Well, yeah, that's the only reason I'm saying that is because he's just kind of stumbling along it like
Yeah.
you are while watching the film. But yeah, if I was to say the main characters, I'd probably say your woman.
But she's not an
female judge.
yeah. Because
Yeah,
like
but
in
that's-
Dredd, Anderson
Yeah,
is
I just
the main character essentially.
yeah. I was gonna say the what do you call the female judge in this?
She's not Anderson. I can't remember her name.
I can't remember her name either, but it's weird because they have this bit of a subplot where she's trying to figure out. Whenever she has the photo.
With the hack. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But then, like, I was like, oh, this is going to be a whole subplot about them trying to figure out what's going on, and then it's just completely dropped.
Yeah, no, it's because well, no, they do fix it. They do go into it though. They do solve
Do
it.
they?
Yeah, because it's all about being
the
a clone.
Yeah, I know that they had the thing happen with the photo.
But that was it. That was literally the whole plot. That was her side
Yeah.
plot. I know.
It was kind of weird.
No, because like the weird thing is, but also because she's already a judge. You can't really
Yeah.
relate to her. It's not like it's her
Yeah.
first day. Because like in Dread 2012 or Dread 3D, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Don't ever call it
I
Dread
know.
3D.
But Anderson, it's her first
Yeah.
day, so that's why you can relate to her. And you can understand, because we're meant to resonate with Anderson, and her reactions are our reactions to something that's going on in the
That's what I was
world.
going to say.
Yeah.
That's the best part of the movie is just seeing her reactions to what Dredd's doing. And the fact that Dredd's just kind of going about like it's just a normal day.
Yeah, because like when I was watching Judge Dredd, I was just like, why does it feel like they skipped a film? Like there was
Yeah,
already a film
like-
before this, but they just didn't make it. You know what I mean?
That's one thing that I like about Dread 2012 is the fact that he's not famous, but the other judges know about him.
Yeah, like he's famous within the
So-
judges.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But that kind of makes you go like, oh, so he's like not. It's like it's telling you that he's like really like good at his job, without having all the crowds, all the people know who he is.
Yeah,
There's, like,
but
little one-off
it's
lines
very
where the
early
judges are
days,
like,
sort
oh
of.
god. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it even feels that way in the setting of the city itself in that film, is the fact that it feels very early on, in Mecca City 1.
Yeah, because, like, even, like, the mutations are only new.
Yeah.
Like, Anderson is, like, the first...
Well, no, she's not the first. She's just one of the most.
No, she's, like, the
ones.
first in the Force.
Sorry. Yeah, in the Force.
She's, like, the first one that is,
Yeah.
you know, because, like, obviously in the comic she has, you know, her own separate division, like, yeah, where it's just a bunch of psychics. Yeah. It's like Psi Division or something.
Yeah, that's one thing I will say about these two movies, is I really want to read the comics after this.
Yeah, but, like, where the fuck do you start?
Oh,
That's my only problem, because I remember I've seen the Dredd Files, and you've also seen the Dredd Files, and, you know, like, recently, the original run of Dredd was, like, 73 or 5 to, like, 2001, I think.
Yeah.
Or 2002, I think it was 2001. But then they started coming out with, like, the bundles, where it was, like, a big, massive, thick book with, like, case files, and they were called the case files, and it was, like, 01, and it was, like, the first couple of years of Dredd or whatever, in one book. And then, you know, they made, like, all the case files up until, like, 2001 of them.
Oh, that I see. I love it when things like that happen for comics. We need more of that, because trying to read comics now is a pain.
Well, yeah, because it's like, where do you start? Like, I was thinking the other day, it's like, if I'm starting reading Batman now, where do I start? Do I start on New 52? Do I start in Rebirth? Do I just pick up random singular storyline comics? Or, you know, like, where do you start?
It's so confusing. I would actually.
It does put you off
comics.
it, though.
Oh, it does. Like, I tried to get into the New 52. I think I think I bought a couple of Flash comics. Tried to read them, no idea what was going on. Went, alright, class.
Yeah. Because I think the weird way they do it is you basically have to start at, like, the first issue that came out in that run.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I had the first issue and I still had
no, but I mean of New 50, like the first New 52. Never mind the Flash, the first New 50, you know what I mean? Because, like, I understand why comics do that every couple of years, just to bring new people in.
Oh, yeah.
And to restart it and stuff. I think that's smart. Yeah. I just think, well, where the fuck do you start? I think, because it's always the first question anyone asks when they're starting to read comics, like, well, where do you start? But I think stuff like Dredd works because, or the 2008 comics, sorry, is because it's just this one, like, this one story. Well, not one story, but one sort of...
One universe.
There's a finite amount, is what I'm saying, of the comics, so then they can go back and do it. But I think DC should go back and just be like, well, this is Golden Years Batman. And then I was like, I don't want to read a Batman comic from the 50s. Because it's going to be very slapstick.
Yeah.
You see, you know what I mean? Like I'll read, I think, 70s, 80s onwards of comics I'll read. To a degree, yeah, you know, like, I'm not gonna read fucking Aquaman from the 70s. I'll read Aquaman now. Aquaman's class now in the comics, but, you know, I think I know what you mean by that. But tangent wise,
yeah, we'll do an episode on comics next.
No, we won't. No, we won't. We've done a lot of these.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Do you want to know what my main complaint with Judge Dredd is?
Go on.
He doesn't wear the helmet.
Well, I think my main complaint is the helmet itself, because the helmet looks so shit in plastic.
Oh, it looks terrible.
It's so flimsy looking.
Yeah,
like, compared
the armor.
Yeah,
the armor design's good, but you can just tell, like, the shoulder plates.
Like,
if you got, like, a wee small, like, I don't know, if you just, like, punch the shoulder plate, it would just immediately, like, cave in.
But you see, the thing is, I think for a movie like this, him with the helmet on, I rather he had the helmet off, because it was in the 90s, and it was a time where it was like, why the fuck would you get Stallone if you're not going to show his face? Whereas you could do that now. Like, you know, The Mandalorian's proved that.
Oh, yeah.
You can get, you know, Pedro Pascal and keep a helmet on. You know, we can do that now. It's only... Back in the day, no one was going to go watch a Stallone film where you didn't see his face, because what was the point? But it's weirdly enough, it's one of those films of that era where it was like, the action hero. It was one of the last action hero films. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because like we had Demolition Man 2 years prior to this.
Yeah. That's why I was so surprised it came out in 95. I thought it would have been like late 80s maybe. Because that was like the end of the Action Man.
Oh yeah.
era.
Like I think was Last Action Heroes probably like the last one. Like the last big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I think I remember Stallone discussing it. He was on more about how like it was Batman 89 ruined action heroes. Where before it was like you had to be a big bulky bodybuilder and stuff. But then after that it was like, no, you can just be an actor and just wear a suit that has muscles tapered on it. You know, and that was why it was kind of like the end of the Action Man.
Well, I mean, the amount of actors that wouldn't want to go through that physical stress of trying to become a bodybuilder just to become famous.
Well, like the weird thing is, to be fair, I had a good run. I had like what 20 years, over 20 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 70s onwards, they had a good run of it.
Like names came out of that as well.
Yeah, like, and just bring it back to why you can't really relate to any character in this film. Demolition Man works with Stallone being the main character and him being like an action, basically a similar character to Judge Dredd in a way.
Oh yeah.
But it works because he's a man out of time. That's why that works.
Because he's like he's in like the same situation as us, where he's just
we would be like, we have the same questions. Yeah.
It's like you're both seeing something for the first time, and you're like, wait, what?
See, that's a situation where that would work, but it's like, because I think it's very hard to do with Judge Dredd. Like, I think you can do like you can have a sequel. I think after the first film, you can have a sequel where he's the main character and no one would question it because we know what this guy's like now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like they actually almost had that a little bit in Judge Dredd with Rico.
Yeah. Because
there was a scene where he was kind of like going around, like looking like at the street and everything. He was kind of like perplexed in a way.
Well, because he's been locked in for a while. Like, yeah.
I was like, oh, that's cool. Maybe we'll actually get a bit of that through this character. And then no, he's just going again.
No, we're definitely, that was an opener, David. It was a definite opener to talk about Rico.
Well, I mean, we're going to talk
probably the best part of the film because
he just chews up the scenery.
I just love that chewing the scenery aspect of, not just villains, but just it's mainly villains, and like Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin springs to mind immediately for a start. You know what I mean? It is just that I'm here, I'm having a fun time,
Like Wesley Snipes in Demolition Man as well.
Yeah, 100%.
I can see the parallels between the two characters. Yeah. Even. The more I think about it, the more I realise that Judge Dredd is very similar to Demolition Man.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of specifically Judge Dredd, especially the film, especially that film. But I think it was just because I imagine some of the sets were probably just reused.
Oh, probably some of the cars.
Oh, 100%, 100%. They just reused some of the stuff like.
He's just like you just love him. Like he's a horrible person, but
but it's just because he has that. He's so charismatic.
Yeah, he's so like energetic and just has a big smile on his face. So
do you remember when he just looks at Dredd? He's just like law, and he just fucks off to like the next scene. Oh, it's so good. He just he's easily the best part of that film. Like if I'm to rewatch it, I'm rewatching it just for him.
Yeah, oh definitely.
Oh
my god. But like
because I think you can have those weird charismatic characters, and I think he's the only character that works in this satire of a film.
Yeah, but like he seems like the only bit of satire in it. In a way.
Yeah, like he seems like the only person who's very self-aware about the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
right, first of all, the whole twist, I knew the twist. I knew the twist going in, just because it was so fucking obvious when you're watching it. Well, the giveaway for me is, why is he talking like Stallone, and why is he that's his brother.
Yeah, my thing was the DNA. I was like, wait, what? That was like near the start of the movie.
Oh yeah, when that happened, when they get framed.
Yeah, I was like, alright. But like, the way the plot went along was so stupid to me.
Yeah, because
Like,
they kind of
felt,
jump between like three
yeah,
films.
but like it didn't jump between like things setting up things. It just kept jumping between big thing after big thing.
Yeah, and it getting concluded. Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't like, all right, we're going to show you these characters and they're going to show up in the third film. And it's
Yeah,
going to be all about them.
there's
It's like, no, these characters are done because they're dead. You know?
yeah, but it didn't even feel like there was any like proper setup for
No,
what
'cause
was
they just
happening
show
the
up.
next thing. Yeah, like Rico just shows up.
Mm.
I know, like he has that line about him judging his friend. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's gonna come up again. But I thought it was.
I
more
imagine a
like
lot of the stuff is probably because it was reshot, though.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I
Yeah.
wonder how much of this stuff was actually filmed and we've never seen it.
I guarantee you the big good monsters were reshot.
Yeah.
But they weren't even in it that much as well. They were just kind of there.
Yeah, it was
Like, one
weird because
scene, and then
I
they
was
were gone again.
yeah, because I was reading some stuff about it. They made like 70 costumes or something,
Yeah.
or like a ton of costumes. I was like, yeah, but we didn't see them. And then I'm like, how much of this was reshot
Like yeah,
or cut
because,
from
like,
the film?
because I don't know if I just lost attention and just kind of stopped watching the film at some point.
Hmm.
But like they have like the whole thing where they're getting let out, and then I don't think any of them actually went out and trying to fight.
No, because some of them did come out. I think I can't remember. There's
Alex,
so
I
much
watched
going
this
on in
film,
that
like,
third act.
I watched this film an hour before this podcast, and I don't remember anything.
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
I only remember like the first half because like the plot kept jumping and it was quite funny.
Well,
because
this
it
is
was
a
so
weird
stupid.
thing. It's only because I'm I just looked up there and Venom 2 is going to be an hour and a half long, and these films are both an hour and a half long, and I miss
Yeah.
that era where it was a film was an hour and a half, like an action film was an hour and a half long.
Oh yeah.
Like I kind of miss going and watching a film that's an hour and a half long. Like
Yeah,
I'm not saying
I
there's
know what you
anything
mean.
bad about a 3 hour film. Like I think you need to have like films that are 3 hours long. You know, like your big
Yeah.
sweeping epics, or like like your Lord of the Rings types being 100%.
Yeah.
I wouldn't watch those films that are and a half. Like I'm not a big fan of Lord of the Rings, but I'm like, yeah, those films need to be like 3 hours long. Like
Yeah.
Um,
like it fits really well for these kind of just short self-contained stories.
yeah, because like
Even though Judge Dredd feels quite rushed in a lot of ways, I would have hated if that movie was 2.5 hours long. I would have cried.
I would be annoyed if it's 2 hours long.
Because I was gonna watch it. Whenever I was loading it up today, I was like, "Oh God, how long is this? Please don't be over an hour, or please don't be over an hour and a half." So I was an hour and a half, and I swear to God, I was never happier in my life.
Because, like, I think you can be a lot tighter with some stuff. Because, like, I think... Because superhero things, let's just say comic movies, because we are talking about a comic movie, really. But, like, it springs to mind in terms of... They're usually, like, 2.5 hours now. Or 2 hours and 20 minutes. Or 2 hours. When... Why can't it be an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Like, because we don't get that anymore. And, like, I'm excited to see Venom 2 in general, but I was just like, hour and a half? Yeah, fuck yeah, this can be a relaxing watch, you know what I mean?
Because that's the thing as well. It's so much more relaxing whenever it's only an hour and a half. Because whenever I was watching Dredd, I was kind of the whole time I was going through that movie, I was like, you're not sitting there for like 2.5 hours of just watching something and like getting so much thrown at you and stuff like that. There, like you don't have as much just kind of to process in a way.
Yeah.
If it's done right and things can move at like a nice pace where everything's kind of moving nicely, not rushed or not dragged and all, it just works so well. I think an hour and a half is such a good time spot for that.
Yeah, because I think a lot more people are obliged to watch a film if it's under 100 minutes. You know what I mean?
There's so many people that complain about movies being like over 3 hours now, where they're like, oh, it's too long, I'm not going to watch it. But then they'll watch like a 10-episode TV show and it's
Yeah.
still late.
Oh, yeah, I completely
Like,
agree. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I know. But then, like, I remember I agree with you in that. But then, so I remember chatting to someone about this, and they were just saying the counter argument to that is, yeah, but every episode there's a start, a middle, and an end. Like it does finish at least something within that episode, and I can understand that. And like when you are binging something, you do want to like, oh fuck, wasn't it? You know, like I remember watching The
Oh
Boys
yeah.
season 1. I was like, oh fuck yeah, you know, next.
Yeah, it was the same for The Expanse.
Yeah, like there is that sort of addiction because it's not like a
Yeah.
film. Because I think a film feels like a drag because when you're watching an episode, there's a pause
Yeah.
after an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whereas when
it's
you're
like-
watching a film, there isn't until it
Yeah.
finishes. So I think that's the sort of a difference. But I think the difference is when someone goes to the cinema, no matter how long the film is, they'll finish it. When they're
Oh,
at their
yeah. Well, I mean-
house, they might not, and they'll come
Well,
back to
yeah.
it. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing with the cinema is, one, you're paying to be there, and
Mm.
two, you're kind of stuck there.
Oh yeah, like even if the film's bad, well, I did almost walk out once when you were there, but the only time
We
I
both
almost walked out of the
walked
cinema,
out.
huh?
We both almost walked out.
It was right. Well, we have to say Transformers 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the last night, Transformers last night. Yeah, I
still remember.
the only film I almost walked out of.
Yeah.
It was
well,
that bad.
for me, it's that and The Last Jedi.
Really? How did you enjoy
Yeah.
it viewing the first? Really?
Oh, I almost walked out.
Oh, fair. Anyways,
Before we start an argument here.
yeah. Dread. Yeah. No, we'll move. I think we can move on to Dread, surely.
If we don't, it'll just be more complaining.
Well, I'm surprised that they even did a Dread in 2012.
Yeah.
I'm shocked because the first one bombed. You know,
Oh, yeah.
well, it didn't bomb. It did make some money. It didn't make, it didn't make a lot, but
It wasn't like your big.
it wasn't a success. Let's just say it
like,
did bomb,
movies
but
income. Yeah.
that didn't work. Everyone in it wasn't big stars.
Yeah, that was
Like
what
this
I
is
thought.
prior to Lena Headey even being in Game of Thrones. She was only in the first season of Game of Thrones at that stage.
But,
Like obviously
that's
she'd done
what-
stuff before, but she wasn't as big as she is now. Is what I'm saying. Like Carl Urban
but,
the same.
Oh yeah. But, like that's the weird thing as well. Like there's so many like not smaller actors, but like less known actors, especially for the time. But they're all there's not a bad performance. in
Oh
the
no,
movie.
yeah, no, they work really well. I mean, it's such a good film. Like I think it's such a good film, and it's
Yeah.
such a good. It does feel like, like a comic if you picked up and it's just one short self-contained story, but it's such a
Yeah.
small story. It's not like there's a big
not-
threat.
It's not like a 10 comic series. It's more
Yeah.
like one big. Comic.
One issue comic essentially,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I definitely felt like that.
because nothing massive happens.
It's just the whole plot is Dredd and his
Rookie,
rookie are just trapped in a building.
pretty much, and it's such a simple story and plot, and it's just
Yeah.
executed so well. Big credits to Alex Garland, who's gone
Oh,
on to
yeah.
win Oscars, even though awards mean nothing. But but he's went on. Obviously, prior to Dredd, wrote the book. 28 Days Later, wrote the screenplay to that. Wrote Sunshine, another Danny Boyle film. Then obviously wrote Dredd. Wrote and directed Ex Machina and film Netflix Annihilation. But I think I was right telling you this, but how this was his unofficial
Yeah.
directorial debut. Because Carl Urban only recently came out and said, I think it was like at some like Comic-Con or something, he was like, no, Alex Garland basically directed the film. But I don't know how, like no one actually knows why, or why that's the case, or what actually
Yeah.
happened, but we do know that. I mean, it's very apparent from seeing what he's gone on to do after this,
Oh yeah.
that it's very reminiscent of his work now, essentially. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get you.
More so the whole complete sci-fi aspects and just the cinematography and just the visuals. But like even the opening,
Oh, it's so good.
so strong, such a strong opening.
It's so good.
And it's just so well
even
shot.
The entire car chase. You're like, oh.
Well, yeah, because I usually hate monologues at the start of a film, but it's the voice and it's
Yeah.
just done so well.
It's just Carl Urban's big gravelly voice.
Yeah.
You just don't want him to end.
Oh no, no, no. And I like his outfit. I like that they've gone for more of a realistic.
Yeah,
You know,
oh,
that is
I
kind of like
love
this
it
kind of
so
like riot
much.
cop or like SWAT
Yeah,
team. You know, if you know what I mean.
It's more practical than. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like this is just like practical suit.
Mm.
Like that.
Just
You
the
would see
leather in it and stuff like.
Yeah, like if there was like a situation where that would happen, that would be what a judge would look like in a way, because it makes the most sense. Since they're being sent into these really dangerous environments, they need to be like, they can't run around with massive shoulder plates and then no body armor whatsoever, except for a leotard.
Yeah,
like
I think the greatest thing about the entire outfit is they perfected the helmet. Because
so
you can
good.
see it just looks like it has this weight to it.
It looks like a big massive steel helmet, and you can see like the just battle that's went through as
You know what it
well.
reminds me of?
What?
The X-Men Last Stand Juggernaut. Like, no, I'm not saying I'm comparing, Dredd to that. I'm just saying that the helmet looks like, you could shoot 1,000,000 bullets and nothing would go through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I
it's
get
very
you.
practical in a way, like.
Yeah. I do like the fact that his suit does have like, you can see like, I think it's his left shoulder pad is kind of gold, and
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
has
yeah.
that same kind of like design as it does. in
And
the
he still has
comics.
the big fuck off badge.
Yeah, but it's
I
not
love
hanging by.
that.
It's not dangling.
No,
by
I
a
know, I
chain.
know. I just love it though. I do love
Yeah.
it. And then they open the motorcycle chase,
Oh, it's so
which
good.
Carl
It
Urban
is-
himself said, "No, I'm going to do this myself," because they actually built the bike from scratch.
Is that a real bike?
Oh, this is a real bike. They made it.
Ah.
Like it
I
is a
thought it would've been,
practical.
like, a bike that had CGI. Like CGI
No,
on
no,
it.
it is a practical.
Oh
like,
god.
that's why it looks like kind of good.
Yeah.
My only problem with that opening chase is it's just so underwhelming. Just
Well,
just the
yeah.
start of it, like it does get interesting, but I think it's just how it's shot. It just doesn't work.
Well, I think the slow mo when it kind of ruins the pacing.
Well, no, I think the slow mo is okay. It's just the fact that it's just shot really weirdly. It's until he crashes the
Yeah,
vehicle.
like, that's one thing I noticed actually. I just realized at an earlier point that like, whenever they're shooting the guns at Dredd, there's no like bullets flying past Dredd or
No.
like, hitting anything in the background.
No.
It's just like, I don't know, like if it was just an oversight when they forgot to add them in, but
Yeah.
like it's very like you wouldn't like if it was just him driving and there was like no cutting or anything, you would just think he's driving and he wasn't getting shot at. Which I thought was quite weird.
Because like I love the fact that a lot of the shots at the start are more about everything, but showing his like top half. Like they have him
Yeah.
walking towards the vehicle and you just see his feet. You know what I mean?
But it's not absolutely ridiculous like the
No,
slow
no. It's
version.
just the slow build up, and then you have like a shot of him with his hand near his gun on his hip. Like they've all these like cowboy-esque kind of shots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then obviously the executions. Specifically the last one at the end. Jesus Christ.
Was that the end of the chase?
Yeah, where he just
Oh
shoots
yeah,
him in
the
the
flare.
Yeah.
The incendiary grenade.
Oh, what's he
Is it not-
say?
Is it like incendiary round? Is it?
I can't remember the phrase he says though.
Oh, I can't either.
But
At least one thing, at least he didn't have any like stupid quips or one-liners in this. Like whenever he kind of made a little bit of a joke, I actually really enjoyed it.
yeah. Well, I also like the fact that just this city is just fucked. It's just so shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not your Blade Runner or your,
It's not like you're like.
or even The Ascent. Or even Judge
Yeah.
Dredd, where it's kind of like the
It's-
cyberpunky kind of. No, it's just like, no, this city's just fucked. Like,
Yeah, it has that aspect of
A
it's
slum.
fucked. Yeah, it's a slum. It's not like technologically advanced or anything like that. There, it's just shit.
And like the only technology advanced stuff is like vending machines and stuff.
Yeah,
And like phone booths and stuff. I love the fact that there's still phone booths because like it actually speaks well for a time because even in 2012 there wasn't phone booths anymore.
Yeah.
So like I love the fact that in this world there are.
Well, I mean, it makes sense as well because you're in a massive
Oh yeah.
high-rise complex.
And like no
Like-
one has the money to afford a phone individually.
Yeah.
There's none of that kind of stuff. Like I like this dystopian future where it's very selective in its
It's also kind
things.
of reverting back in a way.
yeah, like the stuff
Like-
the stuff we would have normal day, which is advanced, is actually far behind, whereas the stuff we don't have normal day is very advanced. You know what I mean?
Like the way that I like to look at it is, it's like they have so many problems going on that they don't have time to advance those things.
Oh yeah, because there's just so much crime as a slum.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Like the thing with Judge Dredd is like, yeah, the city's a shithole and everything like that there, but it's so like I don't know, futuristic and like everything, like the flying cars and all that there stuff. So you're like, whoa, it doesn't feel like a shithole, but because this one's so grounded, you're like, oh, you can really see how it is, just because of the fact that it's like reverting back in a way. Like,
Yeah, because like the technology is just for practical means only,
yeah.
and everything they didn't need it for isn't
the most
used because
high-tech-
they can't waste it. You know what I mean?
yeah, like the most high tech stuff in the film is like just the judge's equipment.
Oh yeah,
That's the only thing you properly see to stuff like that.
and that's because they are the only thing keeping law.
Yeah.
I should say law and order. but
Can we just say that the way that Carl Urban
he just
says
whispers
law is-
it.
It's 10 times better.
You know,
So mu-
it's such a haunting whisper because I think
yeah.
this Judge Dredd is so believable because he's just so reserved.
Yeah.
Like he's not over
Because-
the top. He's just such a reserve. Like he just has his rules, and
Yeah,
that's
but
all he
it's-
does. Like
It's also the aspect of he wants to get through this situation as fast as possible because he knows that there's so much other shit going on.
but he's a lot fairer. He's a lot fairer compared to
Yeah.
like even Stallone. Stallone's just a bit of a dick. He was
Stallone
unlikable.
is such an asshole.
Yeah.
That movie. Like whenever he was going to get sent to prison, I was like, yes, thank
Good.
God
That's where he
you're
should
putting
be.
him away.
Dickhead. Yeah.
But no, like even like whenever you see the homeless guy and he's like, "I'll give you a chance to go. Just don't be there when I come back."
Yeah, like he's
And then,
fair, and then he comes back. He's
and
like,
then he comes
"Right, I
back.
warned you." You know.
and then he fucking dies.
Yeah, you can just obliterate it. See, I think comedy like that works in this film because there is
Oh,
comedy in
yeah.
this film that works because it's not the main
It's
part
dry,
of the
though.
film. It's the secondary
very-
aspects.
It's just very dry, like dark
Yeah.
comedy, which makes so much sense because it's like this, like not dark. It's this very serious situation that he's in this very serious world.
Because I think my only complaint, well, the weird thing is, like, when I started watching this film, I was like, "Oh, this is just like The Raid." Because I think The Raid came out in like
Yeah.
2011, and
You're telling me I've never
obviously.
seen it.
Yeah, like obviously these films, there was obviously no like it wasn't intentionally meant to be inspired by The Raid because like obviously they're in production at the same time, I imagine, but it just gave me that kind of like strong vibes of The Raid because it is just going all the way up to the top of a tower essentially, you know,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I think it is done very well. Like even the slow-mo stuff's done very well.
Oh, the slow mo stuff is so good. It's so like beautiful to look at as well. Like whenever Lena Headey's in the bath.
Yeah. Because, like, even when you see,
see
like,
the
bullets
water.
going through people, and you just see, like, the ripples on their skin.
Yeah,
'Cause, like,
I love how.
I was looking
love
up,
how
and the
they
way
did-
they did that
was air cannons.
Yeah, they did the air cannons. It was just like, yeah, because that's exactly what it would... Like,
Yeah.
the skin would ripple with that amount of force going at it.
Especially
like a
because
bullet.
like these extremely high powered like
Yeah.
futuristic guns like.
Because, like, even the cheek... But I think the one thing it does do is it does have this over-the-top gore aspect.
Oh yeah, whenever the guy gets shot in the cheek, and
Yeah.
you can see his teeth through the hole
Yeah.
makes and stuff.
But, like,
Yeah.
this is my only complaint with the film. It's too serious.
Really?
It's not a satire, if you know what I mean. Like, it's not...
Yeah.
Like, it's sort of like if you got Watchmen and you made the film adaptation not a satire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think
See,
it's
I
the only
would-
fault I have with the film. I can let it slide,
Yeah.
but it's the only
Oh,
fault I
yeah.
have with it.
like I would have preferred this, like a serious movie that does it so well, than have a satire movie and then have it not be like. I would rather have this than have like have them try and make it like a comedy, like Judge Dredd,
Oh yeah.
and it just doesn't work. So I'm really glad that what we got this instead.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because I would say that it would be like, well, especially like the RoboCop movies, for example, like trying to pull off a satire can go either very well or very bad.
Yeah, because like I think, especially nowadays with stuff like The Boys, because I always say that kind of popularized comic satire in mainstream more so than Watchmen did. Because Watchmen did it within the fan base, whereas The Boys did it within, you know, mainstream media in that kind of a way. Like,
just like a general audience.
Yeah, because like a lot of people had never, like a lot of people, I completely understand if someone doesn't like Watchmen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I completely understand. I love it, right? But I can understand why someone wouldn't like anything from it. You know what I mean? But like something like The Boys, where it is this perfect blend of DC Marvel, but that satire mixed in.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, like
that's why I think you can do it with Dredd now. Because you can have that grittiness, but you can have it be satire, like the grittiness be the satire.
You kind of like know what to do now. Because even whenever Judge Dredd came out, superhero movies I don't think were at their height at that time as well.
Well, no, if you think about it, the only ones that had come out and were successful were the first two Superman films, really, which were in the 70s, 80s, right?
Yeah.
Batman 89 and Batman Returns.
Yeah.
And Batman Forever was coming out the same year as Judge Dredd. And the only other thing that was coming out was Steel. I really want to watch Steel with Shaq. But yeah, because Blade was 98.
Yeah.
So this was before. Because I think I always state that Blade kind of like changed the game in terms of.
Oh, like,
you know.
that kind of spawned.
Because people say X-Men, but I think Blade was kind of the beginning.
Blade kind of spawned X-Men and
the
Spider-Man trilogy into being.
Because like with the success of Blade, they were like, right, we can just do these, you know.
Yeah.
And that's when there was this big Marvel craze. Well, it was mainly in the 90s there was a big Marvel craze because they sold all their characters. But no, I think the one thing I want to see, and it's, 10 years next year since Dredd, right? I really want to see Mega City 1, the TV series, happen. And if that doesn't happen, I really want a sequel to Dredd.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think you can do it now, especially with Carl Urban being even a bigger star. It would actually be more of a commercial success. Have it still be low budget to a degree.
Oh, it doesn't
obviously
need to have like.
Oh
like,
no.
It got there. It felt like a Dread 2012. It didn't. I had a very low budget, but it still like looked amazing.
Yeah.
For what it had.
And just make it good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that
it's kind of it, really.
Like, I think that now would probably be the best time for it.
Yeah, because I think Alex Garland would do it in a heartbeat, and he'd actually direct it this time.
Yeah, like especially like I think that they like it's quite not easy, but like you would kind of know what to do now.
Yeah.
You would know what like you have so much other stuff there to kind of guide you.
Because like we even talked about this before, and I said to you, I was like, if Alex Garland didn't direct it, I think the person who would do it perfectly would be Zack Snyder, just because he's also had experience in, well, obviously experience in the comic adaptation department, but also he's worked with a comic book satire before with Watchmen.
Yeah.
But obviously he can bring his own new flavors to it now, because like I think he can do comedy well. Which I've seen in like Army of the Dead. I think even Justice League's comedy worked a lot better because it is this serious film, that's why the mild comedy works, because it's not that kind of forced comedy.
It's
that
not
kind of
Marvel comedy.
no. It's kind of like normal comedy, like, you know, when it's just like Bruce and Diana, just, you know, they both grab the same mouse. It's like, oh no, that's, you know, fine. It's just this awkward moment.
Yeah, it's natural comedy rather
Yeah.
than like, oh, I need a funny quip every, like, you know, every 10 seconds
Yeah.
to keep the audience entertained.
Or even like Alfred getting stressed because Diana's making tea, and he's just like, oh, well, no, actually, I do that. Like,
Yeah, like,
you know, little things like that where it works within the characters, like.
like it's subtle as well, which I think goes a long way. Like it, like. I'll always bring up Marvel for being the worst offender of comedy now.
Well, I just think it's because there's a lot of ad-libbed quips.
Yeah, but none of them work.
I think the only person who's done it well is Robert Downey Jr., but that's just his personality.
Yeah.
That's why it works.
Do you know what the last Marvel joke I actually laughed at was?
Go on.
It was in Spider-Man: Homecoming. You know, whenever they're on the plane, they put on AC/DC. He's like, "Oh, I love Led Zeppelin."
Oh yeah.
That's
Far From Home. Far From Home. Yeah.
Oh, Far From Home.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
that was the only joke I've laughed at in a Marvel movie in years.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the last time before that I actually like enjoyed a joke. Just because it felt like it didn't feel forced. It was just, you know, like a natural, funny, like, moment, like someone just kind of fucking up.
Yeah.
So it was. And we just don't get.
Well,
that,
because I think that, like, there's some Marvel characters that you can, like, have, like, Spider-Man has to be funny. And Spider-Man is funny. I think Tom Holland's Spider-Man is quite funny. I think the one, you know, like, even like Tom Maguire's Spider-Man was funny. You know, like, you know, in that awkward way.
Oh yeah, in the awkward way. Like, but for me with Tom Holland, it's not the awkward way. It's more of like it's to me. It feels like every other character.
Oh yeah.
No matter what character it is, they always have that same, like, they always tell jokes the same way, kind of.
Yeah, because they're basically written by the same person. Yeah,
like,
I know what you mean.
Like, for me, in my opinion, Tom Holland's Spider-Man lacks that, like, quippiness and, like, awkwardness.
Oh yeah.
And it just reverts back to just normal Marvel jokes, which annoys me. But anyway, that's a massive tangent.
But anyways, ending with Dredd, as we should say. I think to clear the mind, to clear the palate after watching Judge Dredd, you should watch Demolition Man.
It's just a better Dredd.
Well, this is the thing. If you like Dredd films, or like if you like Dredd, or even if you like Judge Dredd, go watch RoboCop and go watch first two RoboCop films, and watch Demolition Man. That's all you can need to do.
Yeah,
that's it. That's your Judge Dredd.
Yeah,
adaptation.
That's the thing. Demolition Man does what Judge Dredd didn't.
Pretty much.
In a way, and it actually was so much better. Like Judge Dredd, Demolition Man I found so funny because of the satire.
Yeah, and the man out of time, essentially, because he's just like, well, what the fuck's going on? Like
there's
the three seashells.
Yeah.
Actually, another Rob Schneider film.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
See, that's what happens whenever you have Rob Schneider not as, like, one of the main characters. It's
see, that works. There. That works because he is the side character, but only in a couple of scenes.
He's not always there. Like, so that you need that break from him.
I think we'll definitely kind of talk more about these. I think we'll come back to Judge Dredd again, or even Dredd again.
Maybe even a year from now, make it.
I think we'll probably talk about more when we do RoboCop.
Yeah.
We'll reference it to some degree, I imagine, because I really want to refresh myself with the RoboCop franchise, because I haven't seen the films in 3 years, maybe.
Oh man, I haven't seen.
Over
I
3
think
years?
I've seen the first one when I was like a child.
Oh yeah, no, because even like 3 years later, I want to, like, what is my opinion on this now? If you know what I mean, like.
Yeah.
To see how much it's changed, or do I like it more? Do I hate it? You know.
Oh, I love doing that with stuff.
Yeah, but yeah. Any closing statements, David?
What I would say is there is so much that we could talk about with these films, but obviously we can't sit here for 4 hours discussing them. So
Yeah.
like,
I think we will come back to them if
Oh,
anything.
we can come back next year.
Because, like, weirdly enough, I will rewatch both of them. I think I would. I think I
I don't think
probably would. Like,
I don't think I'm ever going to watch Judge Dredd again.
I think
I'd
I
like
think
to
that's the
watch
one I'm
Dredd.
actually more excited for now. Just a mixed bag of everything.
I was surprised by how bad I thought that was.
Mhm.
Like uh,
We'll move on.
yeah.
But as always, make sure to follow us on Instagram at the State Podcast. As always, don't go and follow us on Twitter. Thank
Just
you
don't
for
use Twitter at
no,
all.
just don't. Once again,
Stay
another
away from
warning:
it.
don't use Twitter. Thank you to Buzzsprout for hosting, as always, and I'll be on next week with Adam. We'll be talking about The Matrix.
Ooh.
So that should be good. Dave will hopefully be back with Dave for either RoboCop or something. Whatever we really kind of feel like when we're about to make it.
To be honest, we could be talking tomorrow and then come up with a completely just random
So
topic,
true, so true.
and then just talk about that instead. That's exactly what happened with Dredd. So it could happen with anything. So good.
So thank you all for listening, and goodbye.
Thank you.